Folks, this is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. So I'm up a little bit late on Bumble, and I guess right on time on you, Tizzle. I don't know. Ha ha ha. Anyway, what do you all see on the screen? Nothing? I just put some stuff up there. This is very odd. Here we go again. Here we go again. I don't know. Let me see if I see any chats coming in. If anybody's out there. There we go. U.S. population changes between 2020. Mike, 1177. So I'm somewhere. I've got Donna Neff. I've got Wanda. Aaron. On Utizzle, he says. Sherry. Pippi. Nice to meet you, Pippi. Joe. Linda, how you doing? I've got on my thumbnail a changing nation. This is between 2020 and 2022. Since Joe stepped in. Hi, B-Dog. Hi, Joe. And I said hi to Linda. Linda, didn't I? Hope I did. I just did. Ha ha, Alicia. Kathy. Hello, everybody. I don't know if I'm simultaneous or not on Bumble. Let me move this so I can see the chats. Let's see. Where'd my chats go? Okay. All right, let's see. Yes, I heard about the new list. That's down here in my studio. It's not what I was planning on speaking about this time. I've put together notes so I can do a show in sequence. This is kind of like Conservative Cowboy. He kept coming up, putting up his bulletins while I was trying to have a conversation. So, hi, Melinda. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? So, tried to get back on track here. I did get to the bottom of the Royals. What happened with the Royals? Some people were wondering that. I could care less about the Royals. As I put up in the past, what happened to Queen Elizabeth's father? He was snuffed out, okay, by his physician. You know, there was no secret group looking over him. And if you want to think about the 1,000-year reign, supposedly, of that bloodline, go see what happened to Charles I. He was beheaded, and there was a stewardship that ran the nation. But anyway, we found out what happened with the royals. And let's see, after a grueling and sometimes dangerous 2-hour car chase, the paparazzi finally managed to lose Harry and Meghan. So they were, according to that little joke, they're going out there trying to get attention. Now, those of you who may be on Bumble, I don't know if I'm on Bumble or not, but let me get back to this changing population, changing nation, which is in my thumbnail. Whoops. Did I get kicked off? I hope not. I just got a message. I hope I didn't get kicked off. Okay, what am I now? I had my mic got cut off. Sorry about that, folks. Here I am 5 minutes into this, and I can't even get to the first thing on my screen. So I wonder if I'm showing up on Bumble. I tell you, it's a little complicated to try to set up two streams on two different platforms, but I'm getting there. Getting there. Hi, Lucy. How are you doing? Camperman's in the house. Diamond Lil. I said hi to Wolfpack, didn't I? Nikki. There's Nikki B. Sherry. Okay. So anyway, if you all saw the other map, which showed all the cell phone pings, this nation is changing, is swirling and changing. You see how many people have left. I had to do a double take. I had to expand that New York City figure. Is that really 404,000 human beings left New York? Or is that, it has to be. It can't be 40.4 thousand. So you see that in a lot of these you-know-what whole cities, people have been beaten feet. Donna says, I'm on Rumble. Good. Ha ha ha. Now, if I could figure out how to, because I don't believe they give me a mechanism to say, okay, you Tizzle people, I'm going to just keep on going on Bumble and then dip out of YouTube. So I don't think I have that mechanism. I got to find out how to do that. So I'll have to keep my discussion within the Puppet Master's guidelines. So anyway, you have this map before you, and that's between 2020 and 2022. What you have now with this immigration crisis, they show the cell phone pings. I have a shot of that somewhere, but I'm sure you all have seen it. They're putting millions of people in. That's going to tip the scales once again. Things are churning in this nation as far as the demographics, artificial demographics, political standing, and everything like that. Everything is churning right now, and it's got to come. I guess it's coming to a boil is the thing. We want to keep the expectations of people positive, and not saying things like in a boil as far as any kind of physical thing we have to do. We have to just keep doing what we're doing, fighting a good fight, communicating with one another, and helping other people to see what's going on. And they will snap out of it and pay attention. You would have thought with all the time people had on their hands when they were being told to stay home and things like this, maybe that did help turn a lot of people. But I'm surprised it is going rather slowly, but I believe it's picking up steam, don't you? We'll get to some polls in a little bit. But for those of you on Bumble, I had a video I was playing. And in my title, I have failure to uphold. Now, this is across the board. I said, Joe's got to go with a question mark. Does he got to go? Or is he going to go because he wants to? That's one question. Failure to uphold. We're looking at this across the board, especially with prosecutors. It was announced that this young man who was ran down and was even, his situation was addressed by Mr. T in one of his rallies. What happened to this young man? The prosecutors, here we go. In his case, he's no longer with us. He lost his life. Update. North Dakota DA gives plea deal to man who ran over conservative teen, allows him to plead to manslaughter charge. His name is Shannon Brandt, entered a guilty plea of manslaughter over running over teen in September 2022. Now, this is the video I was playing on Rumble for that you all haven't been able to see on UTizzle. So let me go ahead and play that.
Killed 18-year-old Kaylor Ellingson called his mom to come rescue him because 41-year-old Shannon Brandt was chasing him in the city of McHenry, where the street dance had just wrapped up. Court papers show Brandt told the 911 dispatcher that he just hit Kaylor Ellingson because the teen was part of a Republican extremist group and was calling people to come get Brandt after a political argument. A judge ordered Brandt held on $50,000 cash, which he objected, saying he's not a flight risk.
I have a job and a life and a house and things that I don't exactly want to see, go by the wayside. Family that are very important to me.
Well, it goes without saying that that young man had family that was very important to him, and he didn't want things to go by the wayside either, especially his very life, but it did. And we see that this person being handled with kid gloves, and I was going to put it in the thumbnail. Prosecutors are the key. And for Soriosio's plan, it certainly has been the key as far as changing the nature of our law enforcement with discretionary powers. They're making a mockery of this situation. This grown man chased down a teenager in his vehicle and ran him down and ended his life over political back and forth. So I hope Mr. T addresses it once again. We've got to make sure this isn't forgotten. And when you put this up against the subway situation, and I know a lot of you have seen, I'm going to leave this young man's face on the screen again. I'm sure you've seen photographs or footage. I didn't take any tape of it or footage of it. It makes me sick. But Al Sharpton at the back of the hearse for this so-called Michael Jackson imitator, and the Marine that was restraining him. Now, if anything would be manslaughter, that would certainly be the obvious, in my opinion. Way different than running somebody who's not a threat, trying to escape, much younger than you, running him down with a automobile. So you look at AOC. She was also at this funeral. You look at Al Sharpton. He made the comment that if he had been an Elvis impersonator, this would not have happened. And most people in our circles know that this was not some guy doing a performance that got waylaid. This was somebody who was not performing. You could see by the pictures he wasn't dressed like Michael Jackson. He wasn't doing street performances at the time. And his arrest record of 42 arrests. So this young man didn't have anything. He was a smart, capable young man, full of promise. And it's over. And this unstable, vicious individual is not facing what he should be facing. So we'll see how that plays out. Like Mr. T says a lot of times, We'll see. So, here we go. Speaking of what I said earlier, Tesla did not respond for immediate requests for comment. Well, the Washington Post is talking about Elon Musk, and in response to emails seeking comment, Musk only replied, "Give my regards to your puppet master." I just got a clip of that from Forbes magazine, and I think he was referring to Georgie Porgy Sorosio. As you know, a lot of stock was sold by a Georgie Porgy company. Is this the thread I was working on the other day? Let me see. Yeah, when Elon Musk was talking about Georgie Porgy, Soros reminds me of Magneto. And then he says, "I'd like to apologize for this post. It was really unfair to Magneto because they were portraying, as I already discussed, Soros to be part of the victim class, which he is not, a Holocaust survivor, which he is not, and that anyone who says anything against him is anti-Semite." So anyway, we already talked about that operation to discredit and smear conservatives was disrupted partially by Alan Dershowitz. I've already gotten into that. But have you also heard that this case is coming back? Remember this young lady here? Suspect in Natalie Holloway case to be extradited. Now, one thing I didn't know was that this Joran Vandersloot, if I'm saying his name right, Jordan Vandersloot, has been extradited to Peru to face trial on extortion relating to the disappearance of Natalie Holloway. Vandersloot was identified as a suspect in the disappearance back in 2005. I heard he was coming to America to face charges because he had told Natalie's parents that he would give her location where her body is for, I think it was $250,000, and they actually gave him $25,000, and he led them somewhere that was just a dead end. So I heard he may be coming to the U.S., and there was some talk during the initial briefings where Mr. T was on TV every day with Dr. Birx and Dr. Ouchie. And with this particular press conference, he had General Milley talking about intercepting human trafficking in Latin America. And they asked about a young lady that was rescued. And Mr. T said, "We're not going to talk about that because the person's been through a lot, and we're just not going to talk about that." And everybody went. One of the few times everybody laid off Mr. T, and a lot of people speculated that it might have been about Natalie. So I don't know. You know, I hate to go into the Elvis crowd and the Princess Di crowd with Natalie Holloway, but it was a fair speculation. But whoever was rescued, I'm sure, endured some very horrible things. And I'm going off of what I was going to talk about real quick because I thought of something else after I told some of the stories that had been related to me about World War II and family members. And also I discussed how things are kept from the public. And I could tell more stories, more details about stories I've already told. But some things, like I'm trying to get people to think about before they go to these sites that exaggerate, incite, or get people very distressed. Human dignity, the dignity of a person. That's why sometimes you don't go into details. As adults, we should know, like when I said Albert Fish kidnapped that boy and did terrible things to him, and he put out a recipe book, so to speak, and was enjoying writing it down. We don't need to read his words or know every detail, everything that happened to that child. And it's just like that with every other victim, every other survivor of bestial conduct by the hell that war presents. You know, we're adults. We know what terrible things can happen. So I implore you not to be drawn to sites that want to give details, and maybe 20% of it's true, and they connect this person to that person and all this crazy stuff. There's bad people out there, and we're going to get them. And I agree with what Mr. Trump did that day when President Trump said, we're just not going to talk about it. Yes, there was somebody rescued. We know what happened to that person and what they went through. And let's hope that person, whoever it was that was rescued from a human trafficking situation, can find peace and happiness in their life. So anyway, moving along. Human dignity. That's what I'm saying. Why we want to not get into stuff like that in too much detail. So is Biden got to go? I could have taken some more video of him stumbling around. Mr. T put up a video of him almost falling down the flight of steps, meeting at G7 in Japan. And I'm not going to do it, but I think things are being shown so blatantly to brace people for some manner of change within the administration. With everything that's coming down, I don't see how he can survive, even though it's just a year and a half. They may make him stay up there just to show what a ridiculous construct it is for the media to keep supporting him. But this cartoon is, we have the bureaucrats, the media, Phoebe, academia, Hollywood, public service unions. Who needs him? And there's Biden with his little cheat sheet. Let me shrink that up. Anybody on Bumble got the green line? Okay, there you go. Who needs him? Really, who does? And I was reading an article where the media and the Democratic elites, so to speak, are besides themselves. They don't have a replacement. And as we discussed the other night, you think about it, there is nobody in the wings that could credibly be expected to go up against Donald J. Trump. Really any credible presidential candidate. The Democrats have no one. That's right, Donna. Real life is sensational enough. Hi, Gloria. How are you? Ian, how are you doing? Kim. That's right, Kim. You don't want that. I tell you, you can read some stories in the Bible that are pretty much let you know when God tells the Israelites how to wage war. It's some pretty gruesome stuff, and I wouldn't go on beyond that. But if somebody survives a conflict or survives being kidnapped and things like that, we got to think about their dignity. We're big enough and old enough to understand how terribly they've suffered, especially little ones. Thank you, Nikki. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and share. So I'm seeing who all is in because I've been talking. Hi, Doc. How you doing? Ingrid, how you doing? Reba. I'm trying to see who I haven't said hi to. If I missed anybody, please forgive me. And everybody on Rumble, I'm going to find out how I can click over. They're supposed to let me know on StreamYard when they're going to integrate where I can see Rumble chats also. I'm doing good, Doc. So anyway, just for kicks, and if there's no answer, there's no answer. But my question is, maybe there's a classical liberal listening to me. I'm not talking about the way out there left. I'm not talking about the squad type of left, but the old school left, like the JFK Democrats or anybody like that. Who do you think the Democrats could turn to if Joe goes south? Or my regular listeners, do you see anybody that's a sleeper that could come in? Jersey Joe, how you doing? There you go. Explore America. I was trying to think what you changed your channel name to, Red. Explore America. Formerly Hello America. But anyway, I'm not kidding. Put your thinking caps on. And or would they seriously put Kamala Harris in the big chair, as they used to say? And I might as well play, before we go on to anything else, this clip can't be played enough. We're going to talk about Kari Lake and what's going on there, and I got to be careful because of the platform I'm on, okay? But hey, wait a minute. Where'd that clip go? Here we go. Here we go. This was right after Tony Bobulinski gave a press conference, and Tony Bobulinski said he met face-to-face with Joe Biden. He met face-to-face with Hunter Biden. He met face-to-face with James Biden, his brother, all three of them. And they openly discussed money from foreign powers. Bobulinski asked them, how do you get away with this? And the brother said, plausible deniability. Bobulinski disclosed in an interview with, guess who? Tucker Carlson. He disclosed twice in the same interview that he had the highest security clearance you can get in the U.S. military, active security clearance. And every time he gets anything over $25 in value from anywhere besides his job, he's got to disclose it to the U.S. government. And he said that level of clearance that he possesses, and he possessed at the time that he was taking down all this, what I will call evidence, with those three Bidens. He said that level is that letter we all know. That is what they call that level of clearance. And he said it on Fox News in front of millions of people. So anyway, this was right after Tony Bobulinski gave a press conference and he handed the press open access to all his BlackBerries so they could see all the documents and all the dollar figures, all the amounts, all the companies, all the transactions for themselves, and there were no takers. But anyway, we can't play this enough right now.
Well, I tell you what, I hope he does look at me, because what's happening here is, you know who I am, you know who he is. You know his character, you know my character. You know our reputations for honor and telling the truth. I am anxious to have this race. I am anxious to see this take place. The character of the country is on the ballot. Our character is on the ballot. Look at us closely.
Let me ask some follow-up. Please respond, and then we're going to have follow-up.
If this stuff is true about Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq, if this is true, then he's a corrupt politician.
Right.
So don't give me the stuff about how you're this innocent baby. Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
Nobody.
President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue.
Laptop from hell.
President Trump, we're
Nobody.
talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race. President Trump,
And I
you've
have to respond to that.
Please,
Because look,
very quickly.
there are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this where you're
exactly
going?
what?
This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia,
Yes.
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race.
You
okay?
have to be kidding. Here we
Mr.
go
President,
again with Russia.
We're going to continue on the issue of race. Mr. President,
believe
you've
that.
described the Black Lives Matter movement as a symbol of hate.
Plausible deniability. So that's where they threw that confetti up in the air, folks. That confetti up in the air. Let me see who all's in the chats. Kristen's in the chats. How you doing, Kristen? Lying liar from Liarsville. Nikki said that's right. So you heard him mention Rudy Giuliani in there. And we find out later on that he's being pursued by a woman who claims he abused her. And Rudy Giuliani put out a statement that, now this is what they always do. They get somebody to go after people like Giuliani over these kind of complaints. Now, he did say he dated her for a couple months, but then he found out that she was not allowed at certain hotels because she was suspected of engaging in TOOT, and the first part is prostitution, okay? And so, okay, yeah, if I was Rudy, I'd be getting the heck away from there too. And go get an examination, make sure you didn't get something that won't wash off. I'll put it that way. But it is constant accusations, threats, lawsuits. This is the essence of lawfare. And hopefully the American people will start to see that. And we're a changing nation, but in more than just those maps that I put up. What I think we're changing into is our attitude and the amount of people who are seeing what kind of wool's been pulled over people's eyes. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is one of the most effective impeachments that's being filed right now. DC Drano put this up yesterday, I think. This Anna Paulina, okay, submits House resolution to, quote, expel Adam Schiff from Congress. And they have the power. They can discipline their own members. I've talked about that in the past with state legislatures, the Senate, the Senate can refuse to seat a senator with enough votes. Check me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think I am at all. Representative Adamson for Congress in light of Durham report findings showing his involvement in the illegal spying on a U.S. president. So, yeah, I know we know that this is not good enough, but it's good. And we're going to see who's working with us and who's against us. So let me go through these other stories. These are things that I didn't get to put up last night. Now, they've faded from my brain as to what I've got in here, and they're so small, I got to put them up to see what they are. And I'm kind of out of my order in what I had mentally prepared. So I just wing it, and we'll see what we come up with. Errol Musk, Elon's father, this is from Clandestine, speaking on the situation in Ukraine. We are being brainwashed to be told that Ukraine is good and Russia is bad, and yet they have found multiple BIO, weapon laboratories belonging to the United States in Ukraine. So there's Pappy Musk, and that coincides with what I had said. The Chinese government had come out with their statement and the multiple statements to the UN by Russian officials about these labs. And we're going to be hearing about that. So here's a video. This is what they put our nation through. This is what they were peddling off to the young ones, along with all the other stuff, that I'll talk about in just a second. But see if you can make out what they're saying here. Remember Sesame Street? You could learn how to count. You could learn your colors, all that stuff. So I've had that one for a while. I don't know if I get in trouble for playing it. But, yeah, we've had that. We've lived through that nightmare. And when the American people find out the origins of this and subconsciously the ramifications with arguments with family members, people that have lost their jobs, we know we can go down the line. People have permanently lost their good health, and also people who have lost everything. You know what I mean? That is going to be a difficult truth. A lot of people are going to have to remember, are going to remember whether they want to or not. So we fire these meme cannons, right, folks? At least we ban straws. And the thing that's insidious about that video I just showed you, as DJT said, when Barron got CVID, he bounced back like within a day, maybe 2 days. It doesn't hurt young people, and there was no justification for what they did to push those on the people. Okay, now let me see what I've got here from my last couple of broadcasts that I couldn't get to, because some of them tie into what we're talking about or what we're going to be talking about. I did get a screenshot, Nikki, where you put a link to a video and you went to click on it, and that's what it ended up being. Nikki, remember I was telling you? So we got to be careful what we try to put up on certain platforms, folks. Karen, you can't spell that word out. That particular drug gets me in trouble. use a 3 for an E, okay? Or a 1 for an I from now on, okay, Karen? And yes, it's true. Congress did get it. So let me see. Holy cow. My screen's freezing up. Okay, I was getting I guess a text or something. But anyway, what was I bibble babbling about? Anyway, these things are so small on this screen. I might as well say this is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I appreciate everybody that's given me help in the past. Here's everybody on the screen. I got to add Pappy Two Bears. This is a screenshot from my StreamYard, which I used. Kristen helped me out. I appreciate it. You're in the chats, Kristen. I appreciate it. While I was on Rumble, you helped out, and so did Aaron and Gary. This is a Rumble bunch now I'm talking about. Camperman helped out on Rumble. And this is everybody that's given to the channel. And also have to add Pappy Two Bears. I'll put Pappy in there, squeeze it in. How's that sound? Pamela's in too. She's in the chats. Nikki, Diamond Lil, Simpson, Mary, Lone Wolf. I hadn't seen Mac in a while, but he did leave a comment on my video, one of my videos. And my somebodies and KNS and Killer Fuzz. And Robin, Rockin' Robin, Jack's hilarious too. Wanda, Tennessee. So anyway, I appreciate y'all helping me out. I got a link in the description. Anybody wants to help out the channel. Now, I got myself a little dizzy because I was talking about young people. And here we go. Here we go. Guess where this is, folks? Pride. Somewhere else you don't have to spend your money, because they're not only dealing with the young ones. They want your pet. This is from Citizen Free Press. Let's see. At PetSmart, you can buy gay clothes for your pet. So yeah, you want to stay away from that place too. Put that on a list with Target, okay, and Anheuser-Busch, Miller Beer, Disney, all the rest. That's right, Vicky, Target. Let's see. Did you follow Dirt Road Discussion Guy? I don't know. Oh, it's to Karen. Okay, sorry. B-Dog says G-A-Y. Yeah. Now we're going to abuse the pets, right? So I'm trying to find where Putin told Obama he can't come to Russia. But I did put up a community post while I'm on this business. The colorful people, I'll say. I put on my community post this story about the LA Dodgers. And I guess people got confused because they said, well, I hope the Catholics straighten out. Now, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying the LA Dodgers abandoned plan to host drag group Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence after Catholic backlash. The Catholics got upset by these people who are mocking the church, dressing up in drag as nuns, in their men dressing like nuns, claiming they're Catholic, and the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Well, there was such a backlash, and so many people called and raised the devil that the Dodgers disinvited them. They're not allowed on the property. So, no, the Catholics don't have the people who are trying to mock nuns, just like they're trying to mock womanhood, just like they're trying to mock God, they're the ones that have the problem. Okay, I know it kind of, the article I put up kind of didn't really explain it, so I'm not saying anything other than, it didn't really put it out there right. I'll put it that way. I should have put this picture up. But anyway, folks, Obama's been told he can't go to Russia. And of course, he's going to say, I don't want to go to Russia anyway, because we all know he's running to Kenya and he ain't going to come out of Kenya, I don't think. And the other person that is of note on the list that Putin is barred from ever coming to Russia is what Mr. T referred to during the town hall as a thug who shot the only person who got shot on that particular day, J6. And his last name is Byrd, B-Y-R-D. He is also persona non grata in Russia, which these articles are so small, and I've got so many different ones in here. Oh, here we go. Here's at least one of them. Look at him. Look at poor Barack. See how sad he is? And there's Putin, who is saying every day he's going to die of cancer. President Obama banned from entering Russia after release of Durham report. It's high time for Washington to learn that no hostile attack on Russia will go unpunished, the ministry announcement said. So I'm sure this includes any kind of sanctions. If there's any kind of wheeling and dealing going on. Nick Hilarious Juice said, I'm on Bumble too. Whoops, out of sync. Wait a second, I gotta try to pull that up. Let me see. I hadn't checked the chats in a while anyway. Let me see what's going on. I'm on Bumble. Whoops. I got to move these things out of the way because I can't see. There we go. And now I can see the chats. The Dave Show. Who's the Dave Show? Bumble. Awaken Trillium. Yeah, I'm on Bumble. Let's see. Where did that go? Excuse me, folks. Well, I guess I think it said I was out of sync. It's the comments way far up. So anyway, at least it's playing. I guess I'll check it afterwards. And I wish I could see the chats over there in Bumble, but I can't. Okay. All right, Pamela. The link, I don't have the link to the Bumble channel in this particular video. If that's what you're looking for, I'll have to put it in there. After this, I'll put the link in to my Bumble channel. In case I ever disappear, you'll know where I went. What's this article? Breaking poll. 50% of Americans say illegal immigration is getting worse. 66 say border in crisis. Before I read on, 57% think it's getting worse after what we've been through. And 66 say it's in a crisis. That leaves 34% of Americans either don't have an opinion or don't think there's a problem. Okay. 66% think the situation at the southern border, in which illegal immigration has spiked to historic levels under Biden's tenure, is a crisis. Well, I hate to be negative, but that is a very low number, I feel. I don't know what in the world people are thinking, but I don't doubt it because we run into them every day. Some of us have to deal with friends and family members who don't have their heads and their backsides wired right. 79% of voters say immigration is a serious issue for the country right now. Jack Posobiec put up. So this is a much more realistic. I don't know where he got this poll. But very serious, it's 51. Somewhat serious, 28. Okay, so there's your 79. So even that, you take somewhat serious and not too serious and not at all serious, that's scary. That's 49% that are saying, yeah, somewhat of a problem. That's right, Nikki. I don't believe these polls either. Here's one. Did DJT put this up? Oh, no, Dan Scavino put this up. Poll finds Donald Trump beating Biden by 7 points. And poll finds Trump beating Biden by 7 points in a new survey shared Friday with The Hill. Now, this is Harvard Caps Harris poll. Separately, the poll found Biden and Florida Governor, blah, 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 Ron DeSantis. But anyway, I saw the numbers. It's got Trump at 47, Biden at 40. Now, granted, this is a Harvard. Harvard is nothing but a mouthpiece for Karl Marx crowd. So I hope they pumped it up because, I know we bump into a lot of them on the street, but 40%, we got to get what we heard years ago, and I'm not going to say it is a quote from the actual board, but I heard that we were going to have to get around 80% of the country to see that something needs to be done before the armed forces would do anything. And that may be why we're going on this long march to another election. I don't know. So speaking of which, I want to play this video, and I think this might be the key. What this person says. Now, this was in a court case almost 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. So what this young lady says, I think is going to be a key, and it makes this attorney look like a bonehead.
So I'm going to ask you a legal question, but you only have to answer if you have an understanding about it. If you don't have an understanding, it's perfectly fine to say, I don't know. Are you aware that under Arizona law, a ballot is not actually unlawful if it is, the term that's used sometimes is harvested or ballot collection, but if somebody who is not authorized to handle it deposits it, or like what happened at Runback, if somebody brings it and inserts it into the stream, but not into a designated authorized drop box. Are you aware that under Arizona law that is not actually an unlawful ballot?
I think the term in the law is an invalid ballot.
Okay. Just 1 minute, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
No more questions. Thank you very much, Ms. Honey.
No more questions. Yeah, no more questions. Okay, how about we start using the term invalid, which is what the terminology is used in the law, instead of saying illegal. Okay. because invalid means no good. Get it out of here. You're out of here. So I was going to put up this article. Here we go. Let me see if this is the right one. Maricopa County bombshell. This is from Diamond and Silk. They put this article up. I was listening. I don't know if you all got a chance to listen to the hearings today, but they drug on and drug on. Objection after objection after objection. You couldn't even, every little thing they were arguing about to where you couldn't hardly get a witness testimony. And the judge said, well, gee, my court reporter, I'm wearing out my court reporter. And that's the second time I've heard that. From a year and a half ago, it was the same thing. Well, the court reporter is really getting wore out. Well, something of national importance like this, really international importance, people are watching. You can't have somebody tag out and put another somebody to type the words in while people are talking. If the one you got is getting burned out and tired, let's just shut down the whole show. Go put your feet up and take a nap. No, we can have more than one court reporter. Things are getting a little too strenuous because I wasn't tired of hearing it. She might have been tired of typing it. Have a backup. But anyway, Maricopa County accidentally drops 2020 bombshell. What they testified to was that officials reviewed mail-in ballots remotely. They tried to get away with saying, we are able to, but it is not the best practice. What? Meaning they could do it from their house. They could go home and be sitting on a can, judging signatures, adjudicating, okay? They could do it while they're stirring this spaghetti sauce and no observers. So, yeah, that's a bombshell. And so that is why I've pulled up this older clip. I've had it in my phone for since middle of last year, I think. Invalid is the key word, I think. And I've always said that Maricopa is going to be ground zero. And I'm still maintaining that, folks. Let's see, what's this article? Breitbart reported on this one. Representative Eric Swalwell, ex-49ers fullback Bruce Miller, threatening to acute me because he was crying that, what was the name of that player? Oh, gosh, I didn't get it. I had another article with the actual player's name in there. Oh, Bruce Miller, yeah. Bruce Miller said to him, did he want to go to Guantanamo or something to that effect? I guess if I put up the quote, it might be a little bit of a problem. But anyway, the guy came out and told him he pretty much belonged in Guantanamo. So Swalwell's crying victim about that. I'm glad I spotted that one in there. So anyway, what's this one? Oh, Jack Posobiec put this one up. Posobiec said his favorite conspiracy theory is Steve Bannon is Barron Trump from the future sent back to aid his father. I think that's a little jab at some of the stuff we were talking about the other night about fantastic things. And I guess this would mean that Steve Bannon, let's see, General Patton would be Steve Bannon's grandfather? Would that be right? I don't know. I'd have to ask Mike Penny. So let me see what's going on in the chat. The Cat, how you doing? Hi, Rick. How you doing? Yeah, we're all getting tired of it. We're getting sick of it. But they say we got to get to the precipice. And where is the precipice? What is the precipice? I tell you, folks, for countries that have been through turmoil, we're still pretty much in the catbird seat, especially if you live out in the country and you got supplies, you got stuff you need, you can make it without electricity, you know your neighbors, you know your sheriff office is good. Now, people in the city, they're going to have a much harder time. But as far as our personal safety, in countries that are going through upheaval, like we're going through upheaval right now, we're not near the precipice. I don't believe that. We are. Yes, I saw that, Karen. That's another company, Ford. Yeah, I saw that. Who the heck would ride around something like that? That's right, Red. Yeah, that's right. That did happen. So now Red's got his channel here. Explore America. It used to come on as Hello America. And I wonder if I still got a picture of that truck in here. One of the suggestions for you, Red, y'all subscribe to Explore America, because you can give suggestions. They've got the original truck for the Beverly Hillbillies in a museum in Missouri, Red. It's a 1921 Oldsmobile. It's the original truck used in the series, and you can give them a couple of dollars and you can take pictures sitting in it. You and dress your daughter up like Ellie Mae, and whatever you want to do. But anyway, that's a good idea for you to have a show on. And there's plenty of places you can stop by on the way to make other videos. Just a suggestion. So, let me see. I'm way over my limit, folks. Let me see. I don't think I got to put up this meme the other day. We want to see a picture of you in that Beverly Hillbillies truck, Red. Ha ha ha. And let me see. I want to make sure I got some of these stories. Oh, here we go. A fine mess. Senator, 89, can't even remember she was in the hospital, but cynical Dems keep her in power. So you think about this, and also Fetterman. Okay, they're on the ropes. All right. Holy cow. Let me look at this. I got to notice. Somebody bought me a load of coffees. I can't see. It says someone. And I think I know who it is. I will be giving a thank you in the next broadcast to whoever that person was. Sadie's going to get a special treat. I had Sadie on the other night, and I had to run her out because she kept getting in my lap. And I want to give you guys a tip that most of you cat owners know. If you run your cat out of your studio and shut the door, make sure the bathroom door is closed, because you'll have to be really good at putting puzzles together if you want any toilet paper. Just a little tip. I think she did get back at me for throwing her out. But anyway, that's a joke, folks. She's a good girl. She only did that once. I'm just teasing her. I don't know where she's at. But anyway, here, I was going to put this meme up the other day too, and I didn't ever get around to it. Whoops, I got too many photos up. Here we go. Americans in the 1700s. I can't read that word out. You know what, you redcoats, screw your tea. I'm not paying taxes. Americans now, I hope my government will let me go outside today. Yeah, if you all have checked out my Bumble channel. Gary. Thank you, Gary, for helping me out. I knew it was you. I hadn't seen you, but I know it was you. Just dropped a big bomb in the coffee house, helping out, man, out. 20 of them. Holy cow. Anyway, we were talking about therapists. And I was going to put a meme up, but I thought better of it. I'll just spell it out for you guys. They call it the TRAN Ifesto, right? And some people have called it the real name, the manifesto, but that's got the word man in it. So I was thinking MAAM Ifesto, Manifesto. But I don't know. We need to dig down on that stuff. We need to find out about these therapists. Most notoriously, it started, I think, with Hinckley. He'd been going to a therapist for years, and he tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan. But anyway, therapists, when they see a girl with blue hair walking in, smelling the money. So we got to do some digging on this, and there has to be some laws and rules changed as to as far as them disclosing what they're doing, records of what their conversations were when there is especially the loss of life. But injuries, people being SHOT at, anything like that, any kind of spectacular violence like that, all that stuff should be an open book by law. So, memory. Okay, Decat, that's a possibility. Let's see. I'm just looking through here. All right, I see Gary put the explosion. Boom. Wait a minute, I could do special effects too. Wait a minute, I got special effects here. Pow! Here's the bird. Boo! Boom! Boom! There's my special effects. I don't know, they're pretty good, I guess. They're pretty good. So thanks for the coffee, Gary. Let me put a big heart up there. There you go. I appreciate it. Thanks for helping the channel out. But anyway, we've got to, oh my gosh, all these confusing, addled, so-called laws that have been passed in the last 30 years, so much of it's got to go in the trash pail. Much of it's got to be rewritten. And I think it's going to boil down to we have to call a constitutional convention of the states, and we got to address these problems that our founders, they were geniuses. They were brilliant. But even the founders could not have predicted, other than reading the Bible in the apocalypse. They could not have predicted what's happening in this country right now, folks. So we're going to have to do something about it, and I'm sure that's all in the works. And here's one meme I've had for a while. I'll put this up before I play my last video. But I wonder why drag queens never want to read to people in old age homes. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, folks, gosh, it's getting late. I appreciate y'all spending so much time with me, spending your precious time with me. As we walk through history, we truly are. And we're lighthearted about it, but we also know that at some point there's going to have to, something's got to give. Something's got to give, and let's all be prepared so we don't do at least two things. We don't suffer from something we know is coming. There's going to be a difficulty getting things. Make sure you're stocked up on food. Make sure you have ways to take care of yourself as far as water. And if it's at point in October or November when the frost is on the pumpkin, you can keep yourself warm. And don't be a burden when you know that you have to be ready and you're not ready. You might be draining resources, from, we don't know how bad it's going to be. But if the more you can be self-sufficient, keep that door closed, keep watching the news, the EBS or the presidential alert system or whatever we have, and keep your mind right, okay, and have the full armor of God on, the smoother this will be for you. And that's what we got to try to tell our friends also, because whether they believe this stuff or not about the 17th letter, the bottom line is it's becoming obvious to people that there's going to be something happening. Whether it's going to 2024, and if Trump wins, look at how they screamed and tore up the cities and everything all through his presidency, all the disruptions. Imagine what it's going to be like. Okay, folks? So, even if they don't believe in the 17th letter, they got to know that we're in political upheaval and spiritual upheaval. And there is not a middle ground. There is not a middle ground with the spiritual part of it when it comes to our young ones. There's no middle ground. We can't give an inch, and they will go cuckoo. So everybody's got to know that. This trans movement's got to be stopped and tempered, a wet blanket thrown on it or something to prevent there from being an inordinate amount of civil unrest. But anyway, let me close out with my favorite video, and hopefully it'll play clear for y'all. And I appreciate y'all spending your precious time. We hope you all have a great night. And I'll try to go up again Sunday night. I won't be broadcasting tomorrow unless something happens or something moves me, but or something big happens. So maybe tomorrow, but I'll be probably looking at you Sunday night. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina, who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.